Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching the channel for the first time, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so that whenever we do a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. President William Ruto suffered a double blow when the High Court suspended the investigations into the Shakahola massacre. At the same time, Ezekiel Odero had his accounts unfrozen because all the accounts had been frozen on suspect that Ezekiel Odero was undertaking money laundering. Raila Odinga had gone to court through his lawyer, Paul Mwangi, and accused William Ruto of usurping powers that are not within his purview. And one of the things that Paul Mwangi had indicated was that as the president, William Ruto does not have the powers to determine who sits in a court or who sits in such an inquiry, the persons and the number. And he said that such mandate rests within the purview of Judicial Service Commission, being assisted by Chief Justice Martha Koome. And he said that William Ruto was acting unilaterally and against the law. That if he wanted such a thing to happen, then he would have allowed the independent institution that is mandated under the Kenyan Constitution to do this. Then maybe he would have gotten away with it. The second thing that Paul Mwangi was saying is that already we have a committee within the Senate that is investigating what is happening in Shakahola. And the police is also investigating what is happening. And so Raila felt that this is a waste of taxpayers' money, because this is like duplicating jobs. If the Senate is doing the same task, the police is doing the same task, and then you appoint another member to investigate the same thing, then it means that you are either trying to hide something or you are just wasting taxpayers' money. The Attorney General had asked the court to quash Raila's prayers because Justin Muturi is saying that William Ruto swore under the Constitution when he was taking oath of office that he would protect Kenyans, and as such he cannot allow Kenyans to die under his watch. But the Kenya National of Human Rights is supporting lawyer Mwangi and of course supporting Raila, and they are saying that they are also trying to investigate any possibility of human rights violation in Shakahola, and they feel that if a commission of inquiry is being formed again, then this is going to waste time, because now we have the police, we have the Senate committee, we have the Kenya National of Human Rights, and of course I know of other bodies which have gone there voluntarily, and they feel that if this committee is going to be appointed by William Ruto, they might not say the truth because they are now mandated to support what the executive wants. And for these reasons, Raila had moved to court. The other thing that they are saying in their request is that, this committee is being led by Judge Lesit. And Raila is arguing that Judge Lesit is being paid by the judiciary. And when she leads such a commission of inquiry that has been formed by the executive, then she will be taking double salary, being paid by the judiciary and at the same time being paid by the executive. And again, they're saying that this is a waste of taxpayers' money. And come to think of it, I tend to agree with Raila and lawyer Paul Mwangi, because Kenya is facing the hardest economic times in the history of Kenya since independence. William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua continues to say that they have huge loans that they have to service, loans that they claim were left behind by the former regime. And as such, we cannot have the leeway of wasting more money on something that is being undertaken by other legal bodies. Raila feels that if William Ruto is not stopped, then he will develop this penchant of doing things unilaterally, trying to usurp the powers of independent institutions. Because it seems that Ruto wants to be the investigator, he wants to be the prosecutor, he wants to be the judge. Yet we've got independent institutions that have got persons who are paid by taxpayers' money. Then the question of double standards comes in. There was a time when Raila Odinga and Ida had indicated and noted that these churches have to be investigated because they felt that some of the teachings within our churches are really wanting and they are not based in the Bible. They felt that some of our pastors are only indoctrinating their congregation, taking advantage of them to take money from them unnecessarily. But when they said this, Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto accused them as people who are antichrist. And they have continued to say that this is the reason why God could not allow Raila Odinga to become the president. But now, when the Shakahola thing has come up, Raila is being proven right. And Ruto is now, commissioning some people to go and investigate something that if they had listened to Ida about a year ago, they would have investigated and we would have averted these deaths that we have witnessed. And so Raila reads double standards here. And this is something that has continued to haunt this administration. They kept on accusing Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. They said that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were responsible for the high cost of living. Today, Raila Odinga is not in the limelight, is not in the picture. Uhuru Kenyatta has retired faithfully. But now they realize that they are unable to defend those claims because they said that they had a plan. Once they got into parliament, they would reduce the cost of living. But every little thing that they said is no longer working. Instead, the cost of living continues even to increase. The basic commodities have got, the prices of basic commodities continues to rise. And Kenyans must really understand this administration for what it is, very dishonest. In fact, they can shamelessly even stand before us and tell us that they are unable to reduce the cost of living because of Uhuru Kenyatta. Whenever you ask them why they can't achieve what they had promised Kenyans, they have that audacity of accusing Uhuru Kenyatta. Instead of just saying that we are facing challenges, they have the guts to accuse the previous government. Now on Pastor Ezekiel, there were investigations into compliance with the law. They had asked Pastor Ezekiel to avail all the bank accounts. And when the bank accounts were availed, they realized that none of the bank accounts are registered under the New Life International pastor. All of them are registered either under the institutions that he manages, either the schools and the church. And they could not prove that Pastor Ezekiel is really engaged in money laundering as they had thought. The other day, they had investigated and found out that Pastor Ezekiel had complied, was tax compliant, because that was the report from the Kenya Revenue Authority. And as it is, they have no excuse to continue freezing Pastor Ezekiel's accounts. And the DPP has been exposed once again because, Pastor Ezekiel helps several children and students. And they had said that if they continue to freeze his accounts, then there are people who will suffer. The services of the church and the school will stall. And how funny it is, because even the county governments have given a notice sensitive services will collapse and stall if William Ruto does not release funds. So every news about the national government surrounds an attempt to collapse, an attempt to shut down services in the midst of the high cost of living, in the midst of a very difficult time for the common man. So this is a double tragedy. And we should not even waste taxpayers' money. Because if there is one person who perpetuates misuse of the Bible, misuse of the Word of God, misuse of the church, it is this administration. Whenever they go to church, they spend a 3/4 of their time speaking about the opposition, insulting others, yet they want people to believe that they are worshiping God. If the rot starts from the head, the whole body will be rotten. And I think we need a change of heart, a change of mind, and a political goodwill. People like Mackenzie were in State House. They have been seen together with our second lady, Madam Dorcas. And so any kind of investigation could be meant to hoodwink Kenyans. We will be wasting taxpayers' money, and I think this is the reason why Raila really moved to court. And William Ruto must respect the independence of our institutions. We cannot have institutions that are mandated to investigate matters, yet William Ruto still comes up to a point illegally some members of the Commission of Inquiry. And so I think the judges are doing a good job. I wish they had done this before we got into this mess. I wish the Supreme Court would have acted in good faith. Today we wouldn't have been facing the predicaments that we are in. But anyway, I think they are on a good trajectory. Let them continue in the same breath, and we might see Kenya making a step further. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen.